Well, we out of time. Man, oh man. First of all, I got to give everybody out there an apology. Real men can apologize when they're wrong. It don't happen often, all right? But it does happen. And I'm going to say, like Justin Bieber, I'm going to ask, is it too late to say I'm sorry? And what I mean by that is this. I'm doing my daily cruise of Detroit Lions information. And I see on heavy.com that the Detroit Lions tried to trade for Danielle Hunter at the trade deadline. Now, I know what you're telling me. You're saying, Derrick, we tried to tell you that. And I'm like, well, I didn't hear it, so I didn't know if it was true. But according to Ari Mirov, it was. Now, this opens up a whole different can of discussion right now. But before we go any further, coming from the 33rd team, this is what was said today about a particular player named Danielle Hunter.
Yeah, we'll just go back to the trade deadline here for a second. The Vikings just had Kirk Cousins tear his Achilles, and people thought that Danielle Hunter could get traded. He actually went up to the front office and told them, please don't trade me. I want to stay here for the rest of the year. And they decided not to. But one of the teams that did give Minnesota a call were their division rivals, Detroit Lions, who gave a call there. They were like, we're not going to do it. But those two teams did do a trade previously with TJ Hawkinson. They didn't do it this time, but I would keep an eye on them as well. But I do believe you're right that he will not be back in Minnesota here this offseason and will find a new home. I think the Vikings are about to go through a lot of...
Wait a minute. So I'm hearing that your general manager, the Detroit Lions, Brad Holmes, called the Minnesota Vikings to trade for pass rusher Danielle Hunter. Now, y'all know that's all I've been asking for. That's all I've wanted for 5 years is a pass rusher, is a pass rush. Aiden was the start of that. But we still got a lot of more. We got a lot of more to go, okay? We're losing Charles Harris. We're losing Romeo. We've lost Julian. We signed Matthew Betts. We still have James Houston. But some work needs to be done on that defensive line. Now, if you're telling me that Brad Holmes tried to trade for Danielle Hunter at the trade deadline, that would explain to me the attitude. Now, you guys can remember I had a natural fit. But as I'm watching the press conference, and I think I might have said this live, Brad Holmes looked a little off. He looked like something was wrong. You don't remember? No problem. Because I'm going to bring it in. Here's a refresher. This is coming from Detroit Lions YouTube channel. This is Brad Holmes at the trade deadline. And this puts more legitimacy to what Ari just said. Let's look at Brad Holmes.
This is literally just hot off the press. So we just traded with the Cleveland Browns for Donovan Peoples-Jones, wide receiver. It literally just happened. So, we're still kind of, but it's been sitting, but want to make sure you guys know we're excited.
Now, hold on now. I'm not a body language expert, never claimed to be. But you can tell when somebody irritated, okay? I can see y'all body language in the comment section when y'all irritated with me, and I know you can see mine. But Brad Holmes looked like, and I've been saying this for the past 4 months since the trade deadline, that this moment here, he looked like he was upset about something. But it gets even better.
About the kid, he's had good production in the past. He'll be a good
so right now,
here.
He's talking about Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Kid. Obviously, he's from Michigan. He's from Detroit. He's a local kid, so I think he'll be very, very happy.
Now, at this point coming up, they're going to ask Brad Holmes about the pass rush because any blind man can see that we needed one. And just pay attention to Brad and his body language.
I just talked to the kid. He's fired up about getting this process going. And, we all these moves that we make is always for the best thing for the franchise, best thing for the team. And that's every single move we make. So that's the best way I can sum it up of the reason why. And take any questions you got. 2025 6th-round pick.
And are you done making moves, or are you still looking to add a pass rusher?
Look at that, bro. Oh, my God, bro. Look at that face. If you don't tell me right now that is the face. Look at this guy. Look at his face, bro. That is the face of if you only knew. And maybe he's talking to me, and that's okay, because that means that I got what I wanted. And just like a crybaby, what did y'all call me? a crybaby know-it-all, I know a little something. And I do cry occasionally, all right, more than you may think. But I don't cry about the Detroit Lions. I'd be right, all right? Look at this dude's face. And I remember watching this like, bruh, he is upset about something. Look at his face. And the little half kind of, girl, if you don't quit now.
We don't have much time left, so probably that might be it.
Now he's smiling. That's Jennifer Hammond. He's smiling at her. But when Dave Burkett asked him, I want to say it's not this question, but it's the next one. I want to bring that in, and then we'll cut away.
Donovan add to your receiver room that you feel like you needed?
Yeah, well, he brings versatility. He's big, Marvin had to step away, so
Okay, here's Dave Burkett right there.
Look to add another one regardless. There's a lot of different avenues that you can take, so this is the one that we chose.
Looking at defensive line, cornerbacks, how active
we look at every position. A lot of these names that you might see pop up, they look good in the media, and they are names, but that's often it's not reality. Those same names that you see pop up, when you start getting into conversations, it just doesn't work out for the best for us. Every team has a different plight. Every team's in a different place, different direction, different phase in their team building. But no, there's nothing that we leave unturned or ignored or anything. We look at every position, we look at everything, and this was the best one for us.
Yeah. So, and then he walks away after that. Now, it's funny looking at that in retrospect, right? It looked like dude was mad the whole thing, and when he mentioned about teams being at different points in the rebuilding process, he might have been talking about Minnesota, right? So here's the thing. Coming from Ari, very trustworthy source, up there with Tom Pelissero, Ian Rappaport, and those guys, with the 33rd team. If this thing is legit, that means that Brad did try to sign or trade for Danielle Hunter. And I'm wondering what you might be like, well, Derrick, he can get him in free agency. But can you? If you would have traded for Danielle Hunter, now you have him. Now, meaning he would have been a 10-game rental, but now you got him in-house. He's part of the playoff run. Maybe we win the Super Bowl. Maybe we go to the Super Bowl, and maybe he wants to stay. But now you have to entice him. You have to lure him. Maybe back then, it would have been more than money that kept Danielle here. Okay? As opposed to now, okay, he still see how far we've gone, but he wasn't a part of it, right? He was from the outside looking in. Now, there's no denying that the Detroit Lions and Detroit is going to be a place of multiple free agent destinations. Now, I will say this. Brad Holmes, I said this was going to be a definitive year for him, meaning how he approached free agency with the most money we've seen, with the most money that he's had. Okay, possible ways to create more cap space. If he does this, if he signs Danielle Hunter, one, don't worry, because that's not the end. We have the NFL draft, and we also have other people that we can sign, those second-tier guys, the Andrew Van Ginkels, the AJ Epinesa, who could be a first tier, right? We're still not done, okay? So signing Danielle Hunter does not mean it's the end. It's not going to be, everything's not going to go to him, okay? But now, putting this together, and again, you guys told me in the comment section, I didn't see it, so I was just like, where is this stuff coming from? It's not that I didn't believe it, I just was like, where do you guys get this from? Where did this come from? If Brad does this, he is definitely en route to GOAT at this point. For me personally, he needs the Super Bowl. If he wins the Super Bowl with the Detroit Lions, he's done what no other Detroit Lions general manager could do. Right now, he's done. We went to the NFC title game, so there's no new ground for him right now. But had we made the Super Bowl, he would have been very close to GOAT status in his 3 short years, right? But now everything makes sense. So I'm not trying to get your hopes up. Mine are definitely out of the stratosphere right now because Danielle Hunter, Aiden Hutchinson, Wow, as Jonnu Smith, former tight end, goes to the Miami Dolphins. And whoever else, we haven't even touched the NFL draft yet. Man, whew. That's all I can say. All I can do is look. Wow. All makes sense now. It all makes sense. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Brad Holmes still wants to bring Danielle Hunter to Detroit? Shout out to everybody in the comment section that said this. It's just that I need to see it. I need to be able to know where you got it from, because in the business that I'm in, I have to make sure that it's valid, right? And you were right, it is. I want to thank my members, my viewers, my subscribers. This channel is made possible by all of you. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. Does that mean that in 4 days, Danielle Hunter will be a Detroit Lion? I say, oh my God. Hopefully.